Hello friends. Our previous session covered concluding topic of types of accounting as well as introduced interpretation of financial statements and analysis. In this session, we are going to probe into the concept of interpretation and analysis of financial statements. Interpretation and analysis of financial statement is a process of dissecting financial statements in order to examine financial health of the organization under consideration. Financial statements mainly comprises of profit and loss account, balance sheet, statement of retained earnings and statement of change in financial position. Out of these four statements, profit and loss account and balance sheet are most popularly used financial statements. Friends, in our previous lecture, we had compared the process of financial statement analysis with that of dissection of frog. Now, you must be also aware of the fact that in order to study different biological systems of the animal, you need to use different methods of dissection. Similarly, there are different methods of analysis and interpretation of financial statements, which places emphasis on various aspects of financial statements. So, let us study these methods in detail. Analysis of financial statements may be undertaken by different persons for different reasons. Therefore, the methodology adopted may vary from one situation to another. The commonly used methods of financial statement analysis are comparative financial statement, that is funds flow analysis, common size financial statement, trend analysis and ratio analysis. Out of these five techniques, ratio analysis is the most comprehensive, sophisticated and widely used techniques. We will be studying ratio analysis in much more detail, but before that, let us get ourselves acquainted with remaining three methods. 1. Comparative financial statements, that is CFS. Friends, suppose I tell you that I scored 80% in my unit test 2 and scored 89 marks in mathematics and science each. This statement will give you some information about my academic performance. Now, if I tell you that I had scored 75% during unit test 1 and had scored 93 marks in mathematics and 68 marks in science, then this information will give you more appropriate idea about my academic achievements. This is because you have some base with which you can compare my present performance. Similarly, CFS is a process of comparing financial performance of the company over the period. This period may be of 2 to 5 years or sometimes more depending on the policy of the organization under consideration. Under CFS, 2 or more balance sheets and or income statements are presented simultaneously in column form. The yearly information is presented in adjacent columns in order to facilitate periodic interpretation of the data. Friends, nowadays most of the published annual reports of the companies provide important financial information in the condensed form for the past few years in order to show periodic panorama of financial performance to its stakeholders. The CFS may be presented in order to show information in the following pattern. 1. The information may just show only figures of different years. For example, the sales of previous year were rupees 10 lakh and current year it is 17 lakh. Second, the information may show the amount of change during given period. For example, the sales of current year have increased by rupees 7 lakh as compared to the previous year, or the information may be given in the form of percentage change in the performance of the business. For example, the sales of current year have increased by 10% as compared to previous year. Now, the pattern or the format to be used will depend upon the requirement of the user of this information. Friends, as already mentioned, under CFS, mainly two statements are analyzed, that is balance sheet and profit and loss account or income statement. Let us see how these statements are analyzed. 1. Comparative income statement. Comparative income statement or profit and loss accounts show the figures of different items in order to give meaningful information. From this information, one can immediately understand whether the sales have increased or decreased and what is the percentage of this change. As well as one can understand the changes occurred in different expenditure items. Let us take an example in order to understand this concept more clearly. From the income statement of 2010 and 2011, prepared a comparative income statement. This is a simple income statement. Now let us present this information in a comparative format. Comparative income statement. So, what can we interpret from this comparative statement? One can easily compare the performance in terms of sales as well as expenses. The sales of 2011 have increased by rupees 2 lakhs, or in other words, there is an increase of 25% in sales of 2011 as compared to 2010. We can also see that gross profit has increased by 25%, whereas net profit by 26.7%. So we can say that though there is 25% increase in sales, yet the cost of goods sold have also increased by 25%. So the effect on gross profit is only by 25%. Here, if we could control cost of goods sold, then maybe increase in sales would result in significant increase in gross profit. In other words, management can interpret this analysis with different dimensions. The management can also understand the pattern in which expenses behave at a given sales level. The management can also divide these expenses as controllable and non-controllable or fixed and variable out-of-pocket expenses, etc. Not only the management but also employees, customers, creditors, vendors, etc. can find this analysis useful from their own point of view. Now let us consider comparative balance sheet, that is CBS. Friends, income statement reveals the revenue and expenditure position for the given financial year, whereas balance sheet shows the asset and liabilities of the firm on the given date. Now, comparative balance sheet helps to interpret the position of different assets and liabilities on two different dates. Composition of assets in the category of current asset and fixed asset and liabilities in the category of liability towards owner and liability towards outsiders can be easily analyzed with the help of CBS. Now let us understand this better with the help of an example. From the balance sheet of 2010 and 11, let us prepare a comparative balance sheet. This is a simple balance sheet. Now let us present this information in a comparative format. Pay attention on the shaded portion of the table, and then you will find that the balance sheet is analyzed on the basis of current asset, current liabilities, working capital and proprietors funds, etc. So we can interpret some aspects from the CBS, and those are like this. The total fixed assets have decreased by 2.5%. This can be mainly attributed to the depreciation of 10% charged to building and plant each. Though there is a 40% increase in furniture due to new purchase, yet the overall impact is decrease in fixed assets. Then the current assets, on the other hand, have significantly increased by 48%, which can be attributed to increase in all the assets, that is cash, debtors and stock. This signifies increase in business activities and sales turnover. Then due to increased sales, debtors and stock amount, there is an increase in need for working capital. Working capital, that is current assets minus current liabilities, signifies the liquid capital or short-term capital required by the firm. In our example, working capital has increased by 57.5%, which is a significant increase. One can say that need for working capital can be managed by quick recovery of debtors, as debtors have increased by 50%. Similarly, the stock can be liquidated faster so as to reduce the blockage of the funds in inventory. Now look at the column of proprietor's fund. This amount represents the liability towards owner or the funds contributed by the owner in the business. In our example, we see that there is no additional investment made by the owner. Whatever nominal increase of 5% in this fund is due to increase in reserves. So, the increase in reserves signifies increase in operating surplus transferred to reserves. In other words, operating profit or surplus transferred to reserve has increased by 22.5%. The firm has raised long-term capital by borrowing additional secured loan of rupees 50,000. Conventionally, long-term capital should be used in long-term investments or assets. In our example, the fixed assets in the form of furniture has increased by rupees 40,000. This means rupees 10,000, that is rupees 50,000 minus rupees 40,000 is utilized in working capital, or in other words, investing in current assets or paying current liabilities. This is not an advisable decision, as long-term liability is raised in order to pay current liability or invest in current asset. So ideally, working capital should be managed by raising funds from current liabilities. The portion of proprietor's fund and long-term liability together forms capital employed. This amount shows the long-term capital invested in the business. In our example, this amount has increased by rupees 95,000. That is, rupees 45,000 increase in contribution of owner's fund and rupees 50,000 contributed through external funds in the form of borrowed loan. This shows that the contribution of external source is more than that of internal source. Finally, total assets and liabilities of the firm have increased by 16.9%. We have already discussed the attributes that are responsible for this increase in assets and liabilities. Friends, there is a possibility of deriving some other interpretations from the given comparative statement. The interpretations may change according to the objective for which the analysis is undertaken. With the help of these two examples, we have studied the utility or significance of comparative financial statement analysis. With this tool, we can derive meaningful interpretation of financial statement. But there are certain limitations to this technique. Let us discuss some of them. It is essential for the firm to follow uniform accounting policies and principles. If the policies are not uniform, then the results of comparative analysis becomes useless. Another limitation is that since the financial statement itself is based on historic cost, therefore the comparative statement also shows its analysis based on historic approach. If a certain item does not appear in the base year and is introduced in the current year, then it is not possible to have uniform comparison. Friends, there is also a possibility of some abnormal financial event in the particular year, which may result into abnormal gains or loss. This abnormal change makes the comparative statement meaningless. We are also aware that there is a constant change in price level resulting in changes in trading activity. These price changes are not taken into consideration while preparing comparative statement. Many times, firms tend to compare its performance with that of another firm. This is called inter-firm comparison. In such analysis, it is essential that both the firms under consideration belong to the same business activity, are of the same size, and have similar business commencement age also. In other words, inter-firm comparison is not worth if, say, one firm is functioning from 10 years and other firm from 2 years, then the comparison cannot be justified. It is observed that companies distort and manipulate financial statements in order to project positive picture of the financial results. In such cases, comparative statements too become manipulative and therefore not of much use to the management. Now let us move to the next technique of financial statement analysis, that is funds flow analysis. Recently, funds flow analysis has become an important technique of financial statement analysis. We have a separate unit, that is Unit 3, dealing with funds flow analysis. We will learn about funds flow statement in detail under Unit 3. Here let us just understand this analysis as one of the techniques of financial statement analysis. Funds flow analysis is used by financial analysts, financial managers and owners in order to study flow of funds within different financial items. This analysis helps to understand changes in the financial position of a firm. There are two statements that are generally prepared under FFA, that is funds flow statements and cash flow statements. Funds flow statement. During commercial activities, funds are mainly generated through trading activity. In other words, income statement shows the income generated during the year, while balance sheet shows how this income is utilized. Funds in business flow from liabilities towards asset. In other words, assets consume funds, whereas liabilities are source of funds. For example, the income generated during the year plus the initial capital invested, reserves and provisions forms the source of funds generated by the owner. That is liability towards the owner. Borrowed funds in the form of loans and advances, creditors and outstanding generates funds from outside sources. Now these funds are invested either in fixed assets, in current assets or payment of liabilities. Let us now take and consider a hypothetical situation showing inflow of funds and outflow of funds. Investing additional operations, investing additional capital, payment of loans, then surplus from operations, increase in working capital, decrease in working, then issuing debentures and bonds. Friends, fund flow statement helps the management to understand financial consequences of business operations, the pattern of allocation of resources, and effective or ineffective use of working capital. The next statement of funds flow analysis is cash flow statement. As the name suggests itself, cash flow statement helps management to understand flow of cash into the business and out of the business. Cash flow analysis helps to determine the rate of return for the given period generated by the business or the project, then determine problems related to liquidity position of the business, determine the pattern and quality of income generated from business activities, and determine risk factors involved in the financial activities. Let us conclude this lecture. Here we have covered funds flow analysis in brief and would study in detail in our forthcoming chapter. We just need to understand that FFA is an effective tool of financial statement analysis. We will cover the remaining techniques in our next sessions. Thank you.